Hello and welcome friend. In this tutorial we will try to look at one more construct for trap. So in trap, like we have seen that after trap you will give a command or a function name and followed by the signal, and if you are giving a function name you can pass an argument like typically signal number or maybe anything as an argument you can pass. Now there is a keyword continue which we use for while loop or for loop or until loop. So sometimes what happens, like if you want to continue the loop you can say continue, but mind it, whenever you say continue that has to be in the context of for loop, while loop or until loop. If it is some other place where you are putting continue, it might give a error. So your program might work under some conditions, and depending upon where the signal was trapped it might give you error later on. So let's try to look for this. So this is what it will do is, in the infinite loop it will print hello, sleep for 1 second and keep on doing, and whenever there is a sig interrupt received it will continue. So which means it will just ignore the signal, whatever the signal comes it gets trapped and it will continue from there. So let's try to run this program, trap 3, and you see it says hello. If I say control C and then it continues because I have said continue, so it will just say continue. Now let's kill this process forcefully. Now let me comment this out for the time being, and let's make an equivalent program. Now this is something wherein we will just sleep for 300 seconds. It's not in a loop. So what will happen when we trap? Let's see that. So if I run this process, this is just sleeping for 300 seconds. Now press Ctrl C. So if you press Ctrl C and you see the message says continue only meaningful in a for, while or until loop. So here it will not work. So you have to ensure that when you are putting a continue, where exactly you are putting, that makes meaning. Also I would like to point out that when you are doing signal handling, most of the time use bin bash. Don't use sh, which is like bin sh, or if you don't give sh anything it will be sh. So Bourne shell signal handling is different from bash shell. So we will use bash shell for signal handling. Okay, now let me run this again and show me the difference. So here, so let me run this. I need one more terminal, so exiting that. Okay, now this is running. Pressing Ctrl C will send a signal, so which I can see, and it will continue. Now let's check the PID. So the PID is demo grep. So this is this. Now as part of, instead of giving Ctrl C, we can also say kill -2. -2 is for interrupt, and if I say this, so it has received the signal. Because right now there is no echo, so it was not able to print anything, but it has received the signal and it is still continuing and printing, otherwise it would have died. So if it is still receiving the signal. For the shortcut for 2 is also -int. You can also give -int. This will also send a signal. Okay, now let me run the same thing in shell, bash. Instead of bash shell, sh, Bourne shell. So Ctrl Z, now say kill %1. Let's suppose if I run this in a bash shell, and I don't give anything, so by default it will be bash shell. So you say demo trap 3 and you run this. Now let's try to check the PID. You see there is no PID for demo. How come? Process is still running, but the PID is not there for demo. But if you look, there is other stuff here. There is a sleep process running. Let me decrease the size. So you see there is a sleep running. So what Bourne shell does is, it will take your sleep conditions, whatever is there, and it will substitute it with a corresponding new process in such a way that the original process got killed, the sleep process is running, but the original process is blocked somewhere, and your sleep will keep on running, and whenever the sleep is done in how many seconds, it will just signal the original process. Original process is no more visible, it's kind of a zombie here. So this is the behavior for Bourne shell, which might not be very good or intuitive from what we are trying to do. So that's the reason I was saying that we should always do bash shell. So to ensure that you always run in a bash, you should say hash not bin bash slash bin slash bash. That's a cbang for bash shell. So you should always specify which shell you are running when you are using a feature like shell, like signal handling or those kind of exotic features. So that's all for the video, and I hope to see you in my next video. You have a nice time. Bye.